Different schools implement GGC in different ways. Some schools have one classroom or grade level that uses it, and other schools use it school-wide. For those that do it in every classroom, it's important that all staff contribute to building a consistent and positive school culture. If students or staff show up to school with a bad attitude, that kind of attitude can spread from a classroom to a school and beyond. But just like a negative attitude can spread, so can a positive one. That's why we wanted to take some time to talk about how you can take SLAM school-wide. The process for nurturing a positive school culture is a marathon, not a sprint. And like a marathon, it takes a lot of training, patience, discipline, and hard work. The impact of training for a marathon isn't always immediately apparent. The rewards take time to recognize. The same is true for building culture. Social emotional learning skills aren't innate. They're influenced by environment, and they take time to develop. So they have to be taught and practiced just like reading and writing. In all learning, consistency is key. So as role models, teachers, principals, and school administrators have to be examples for students in and out of the classroom. Students don't know what respect looks like if they don't see it modeled. Here are some tools you can use to slam crummy school-wide. Starting with S, see everyone as super. How can you see everyone as super? Let's get a few ideas from the business world. Global Game Changers is part of David Novak Leadership, a private foundation whose mission is to make the world a better place by developing better leaders at every stage of life. David Novak is the former CEO of Yum Brands, which you might know if you've ever eaten at Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, or KFC. David is known in the business world for the culture he built around recognition. He identified the values that he hoped to see in his employees and then built a system to reward their behavior. When he traveled to restaurants, he would hand out a rubber chicken to the employee who had shown the best performance. As funny as the rubber chicken was, it became a prize that everyone in the company worked toward. As a result, everyone developed more of those exemplary, aka super behaviors in their quest to win the chicken. Inspired by the recognition that David promoted throughout his career, Global Game Changers encourages our schools to do something similar by recognizing students and staff for their Ignite Good, or other words, super behaviors, with a Superhero of the Month cape or t-shirt. Depending on the implementation, staff and fellow students can nominate recipients of the Superhero of the Month title. And superheroes are profiled school-wide via bulletin boards and morning announcements and awarded certificates along with their t-shirt or cape. You don't have to use the rubber chicken or a Superhero of the Month cape, but consider a strategy to recognize others, singling them out as super. It's a critical part to building school-wide culture and unity. Don't forget L, look for leaders. Of course, before you can influence anyone else to be a leader who spreads a positive culture, you have to check yourself. Is your behavior something you want other people to follow? Assuming it is, then you start with leading by example. One way to lead and influence is to consider how people might feel when they walk into your building. Do people feel welcome, ignored, unwelcome? A smile and a positive can-do attitude can go a long way toward making stakeholders feel like they're in a place that cares about them. Modeling leadership is the best way to lead others, whether they are students, parents, staff, or colleagues. Apathy might be contagious, but integrity, empathy, and respect are contagious too. When you show you care, it leads to re-engagement. Always be aware of A, address apathy affirmatively. Crummy infects all of us occasionally, and apathy affects everything, from student behavior to quality of instruction. It encourages people to disengage, but you can interrupt this process by acknowledging that something occurred to make people want to give up in the first place. Being acknowledged helps to break that cycle. Also remember that tone matters. It isn't always what you say, it's how you say it. Using a positive tone, even when delivering a negative message, can go a long way in how your feedback is received. Another way to battle apathy is to have empathy for whoever is having a bad moment or a bad day by acknowledging we all have them. This can be particularly eye-opening for a student when a principal or a lunchroom lady shares that they too have difficult days. People often feel defined or isolated by their mistakes. Validating that it's okay to have a bad moment or make a mistake is empowering and can positively impact that person's trajectory. And of course, make every day a mission. Take a moment to think about your school. Whose behavior do you want to mirror? Whose behavior do you want to correct through positive modeling? Sometimes it can be easy to lapse into only mirroring, thinking things like, well, if they don't show me respect, I won't give it to them. Sometimes the only way to break out of that cycle is to be the one to start a new cycle and be the first one to treat someone else with respect, kindness, or belief in their super qualities. We also know that big changes begin with small steps, taken over and over again. Staff can use daily routines that can help you promote and maintain a positive culture and make every day a mission beyond the classroom. For instance, the principal can lead the whole school in saying the GGC pledge during morning announcements. It demonstrates to students that all leadership, admin, and non-teaching staff are just as committed to GGC principles as classroom teachers. Another way to make every day a mission is to acknowledge school-wide different ways that students and staff ignite good in school. Simple, regular acts like this ensure that everyone at school is on the same page and that the entire school reflects the values students are learning in class. And that matters because consistency is critical in building students' confidence and self-value. As educators, it's our responsibility to set an example and lead the way in building a positive school culture. The more adults who know about and practice GGC principles like SLAM, the more consistency students have for behavior, expectations, and positive reinforcement.